Lou Pearlman was a name that became synonymous with the rise and fall of boy bands in the late 1990s and early 2000s. As the mastermind behind successful groups like the Backstreet Boys and *NSYNC, Pearlman seemed to have a Midas touch when it came to creating chart-topping hits and capturing the hearts of teenage girls worldwide. However, behind the glitz and glamour of the boy band phenomenon lay a web of deceit and financial trickery that would eventually unravel and expose Pearlman as one of the biggest scam artists in the music industry. Born on June 19, 1954, in Flushing, New York, Lou Pearlman grew up with a passion for music and a fascination with business. He initially found success by launching a company called Transcontinental Airlines, which operated low-cost charters for tourists and developed a loyal customer base. However, Pearlman's true ambitions lay beyond the aviation industry, and he set his sights on the music world. In the late 1990s, Pearlman established his own record label, Transcontinental Records, with the goal of assembling a boy band that could rival the success of the Backstreet Boys. Through auditions across the United States, Pearlman handpicked young and talented singers to form what would become the first iteration of the boy band empire, the Backstreet Boys. Their debut album, released in 1996, propelled them to stardom, captivating audiences worldwide with their harmonies, synchronized dance moves, and heartthrob looks. With the astonishing success of the Backstreet Boys, Pearlman sought to replicate the formula with another boy band. Enter *NSYNC, a group of 5 young men who would go on to achieve global fame and become one of the best-selling boy bands in history. Pearlman used his connections and marketing prowess to launch NSYNC's career, catapulting them to superstardom alongside their predecessors, the Backstreet Boys. From the outside, everything seemed perfect for the boy bands and their adoring fans. However, behind closed doors, a darker reality was unfolding. Pearlman, the man who had promised these aspiring young musicians stardom and wealth, was secretly siphoning off their hard-earned money and living a life of luxury at their expense. Through a complex web of financial schemes and fraudulent activities, Pearlman managed to deceive both the bands and their management, embezzling millions of dollars. One of Pearlman's most notorious scams was the creation of shell companies and fictitious businesses, which he used to funnel money away from the boy bands. He would charge exorbitant fees for various services, such as management, production, and even merchandise, all of which were provided by his own companies. These inflated costs would then be deducted from the band's earnings, leaving them with a fraction of what they were rightfully owed. To add further insult to injury, Pearlman convinced the bands to invest their own money into his failed ventures, promising substantial returns and business opportunities. However, these investments would ultimately lead to financial ruin for many of the band members, further enriching Pearlman as he continued his elaborate scheme. The truth about Pearlman's fraudulent activities began to unravel in the early 2000s when members of the Backstreet Boys and *NSYNC decided to take legal action against their former manager. Investigations revealed the extent of Pearlman's deceit, with millions of dollars unaccounted for and a trail of financial irregularities left in his wake. In 2008, Pearlman was finally brought to justice and sentenced to 25 years in prison after pleading guilty to conspiracy, money laundering, and making false statements during bankruptcy proceedings. The boy band scam orchestrated by Lou Pearlman serves as a cautionary tale about the darker side of the music industry. It highlights the importance of artists and aspiring musicians being vigilant about their finances and understanding the business side of their careers. While the legacy of the boy bands themselves remains untarnished by Pearlman's crimes, his actions serve as a reminder that even the most glittering success stories can hide deep-seated corruption and greed.